Thanks for tuning in to another episode of All Things Entrepreneur. We are a group of entrepreneurs who all got our start in real estate wholesaling and parlayed that success into multi-million-dollar business. It's your girl, it's Jessica Myers, the deal maker.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl Mo Hustle, the she builder.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hey, it's the Grand Guy, the influencer.
I am Superstar Shauna with
DC John.
And together we are Flippin' Love.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your boy Errol J. Allen.
It's time to get ate.
All things entrepreneur. It gets tough, but you gotta stick to it. Nah, don't talk about it.
And today we have joining us a special guest. Mo, tell us who we got joining us.
All right. So today we have a one-of-a-kind guest. So we have here a Black family-owned business. All right. We have one of the family members here, and his name is Mr. Dondre Anderson. The company is Symphony Chips, Symphony Potato Chips. So Dondre, welcome to the show. This is All Things Entrepreneur, where we talk about all things entrepreneur.
Hey, this is wonderful. I'm glad to be here. It's an honor to be amongst all the grinders.
So if you hear a little crumble, it's the chips that might be munching on in the back.
So Dondre, tell us about what we all have in hand here.
Okay, so what you have is our gourmet luxury potato chips. So we started off with the original flavor, which we named original because it was the easiest way into market. Because most people think original chips, they have in their mind what they taste like already. So we decided to disrupt that. So we have a 28 herb and spice blend that's all natural, gluten-free, vegan-friendly, non-GMO, and no MSG. All of that, and it still gives you a gourmet meal on a chip.
All of that.
Now then, so right here, she's holding our smoke flavor.
She's ready to open it already.
Which is our next flavor we put out, which is our version of barbecue. Most people go after the barbecue sauce. And like if you love good barbecue, we've all been to family barbecues and the sauce saves it. Well, there are some occasions where you go to a great place and you get good barbecue where the sauce accents it, but the actual protein itself, you taste the smoke flavor. You taste the hickory, you taste the oak or whatever. So that's what the smoke flavor actually gives you.
Y'all want your bags?
No.
Hold on. And believe it or not, the number 3 flavored chip in this country is salt and vinegar. Most people love salt and vinegar. So we said, well, instead of just following suit and doing salt and vinegar, how can we one-up it? Why can't we make it gourmet? So the vinegar flavor that everybody loves is actually balsamic, which is actually an Italian spice. So we made the balsamic flavor to compete with the salt and vinegar, but another notch. So that's what you guys are holding. If we ready to break them open.
Hey, time to get ate. Literally. I want to talk about something. Oh, you got it too.
I think this is the barbecue.
No, that's the original, right?
Oh, that's the original.
So Dondre,
Yes, sir.
how was the process of getting this from an idea to now in our hands? How was that process like?
So, you want to try? I have the original in mind.
One chip tasted like a whole.
I feel like I'm eating food.
He said that one chip tasted like a whole plate.
This balsamic is really good.
So we started off actually as a spice company. So my dad, who's a retired restaurant chef from Vegas, who I love you, and was supposed to be here tonight, but unfortunately, my bad. I will own that.
What's up, Pops?
You gonna see him like for real?
He got stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
Atlanta traffic.
So
Atlanta traffic.
Yeah. No, he's actually watching the wrestling. Yeah. Anyway, he actually invented the spice while working on the Las Vegas Strip. And so, if you all know Las Vegas, which I think is everybody's rite of passage, I like to think that while you're gambling or whatever and enjoying all that, you got to refuel at some point. I like to think that my father was an inspiration to some of the flavors you enjoy in Vegas. So he invented the spice, and my dad's from that generation where nothing's really a big deal. It's like, oh, this ain't no big deal. He literally just putting it on his eggs. And I was like, dude, this is amazing. This is the best eggs I've ever had. And so, with his blessing, I said, hey, let's bottle it and sell it. So my background is actually software engineering. So I write apps for a living. So I have no background whatsoever in spices. And this was like 2008, 2009 when I discovered it. And you couldn't Google how to start a spice company. That wasn't available. So, I'm sorry, Google was available, but that option, good information wasn't there.
Information wasn't out there like that.
It wasn't out there like that. So when we got into a grocery store, we finally got into a store. I just put it on the shelf. Thought people just buy it because they pretty packaging. Yeah, that didn't work out so well. So people really don't buy spices they can't taste. So we decided to do some in-store demos. And so because again it's an all-natural spice, vegan friendly, all natural, no MSG, we put it on raw vegetables and popcorn. And people tried it. Yeah. That's a whole nother space.
I got a chip or something going down my throat. You eating something else?
Right. Time to get 8.
Time to drink too, right? Some water go in.
Exactly.
So we let people try it and they loved it. We would sell out. We had a 4-hour block in the store. We sold out in like an hour. It was done. So we was like, okay, how can we scale? So we got to show up. We got to hit multiple stores. Right. So we was like, they give us 4-hour blocks. Maybe we can hit 4 stores, within that hour. So we got to sell out faster. So we was like, okay, well, how can we draw people to it? So we had the idea of, hey, let's do a live cooking demo. People love live cooking demos. So we did that. So what can we make this easy and accent our spices? So we said potato chips. So we literally put the chips right in the grease. We literally took them out, put the seasoning on them, and handed them out. And people went from saying, oh, your spices are wonderful to, the spices are okay. What chips at? Are they on chip off? Can we go and chip and get chips? And I was like, well, no, it's the spices. We're selling the spices. They were like, well, what are chips at? and so luckily this store, for those of you who are familiar with Atlanta, I always want to give homage to 7 Under, because they're the store we actually started at. So 7 Under actually is a co-op that's kind of like I want to say it's like kind of like a Whole Foods, but neighborhood kind of Whole Foods.
Right.
And they service all walks of life. So when you got people from all walks of life saying the exact same words to you, where the chips at, you gotta pay attention. And so because people's reaction was so amazing and dynamic, I was like, well, we can't just fry these up in our kitchen, because then, what if somebody walks up, the right person walks up and says, man, I love these. I need 100,000 bags. See, I would burn myself alive, because now I'm just in the kitchen. Most businesses fail because they cannot meet the demand. So I said, well, hey, I'm the type of person who believes in chance favoring the prepared mind, and also beginning with the end in mind. And if the end in mind is somebody saying I need 100,000 bags, then I need to learn how to fulfill that order. So this was like about 2014 when we got into the grocery store. And it was about maybe a year and a half before I found all of the manufacturers. Because our supply chain consists of seasoning, right? Commercial blender, also packaging, and then also a co-packer to put it all together. And manufacturers, unfortunately, here in the United States, do not advertise. So it wasn't like I could just go online and just find them. It was like I literally had to reverse engineer it. So I literally had to find potato chip companies who were smaller and just reach out to them and say, hey, do you do private labeling? And the ones I found a few of them. They said, yeah. And then I said, well, hey, who do you get your spices from? And so I kind of reverse engineered the supply chain. So that way, I could place orders with companies that were already used to doing large volume. Again, 100,000 bags, right? So I got that in place. So when we launched the chip company in 2017, it was fourth quarter of 2017, those chips that went out were the ones that came off the supply chain. So that way, nobody can ever say, man, I sure miss what y'all did in y'all kitchen. Yeah, no, I ain't want that. Hey, no.
Well, let me ask you this, because when we opened the bag, I noticed that it was a lot of chips in here. And one of the things, when you go to most chip places, it was so funny. It was a meme. it was a meme online where it had a little box truck delivering those little muffins, and it was like it's probably only 4 of them inside. Right. And that's what I think about with chips. Like, how do you control that? Because I noticed, most chips, they don't have much in the bag. And
a lot of air.
A lot of chips in there. Like, how is that a part of the process?
Absolutely. So part of that is finding a co-packer that actually understood that exact point. And while there has to be air in the bags because these bags have to be shipped, So the last thing you want also is a bunch of crushed chips in the bag also, right? So the air is there to make sure the chips stay, one, fresh, but then two, you don't have crushed chips. But then also, the other part is making sure that people don't, oh, go ahead, yeah.
and then I did notice that too, that there is no crushed chips.
Yeah.
Like the chip is full. Y'all see me take the chip out of the bag? Full chip? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, because a little hack I do, I normally open the chip from the bottom to get the seasonings and all that to fall the other way.
I was gonna say one thing I immediately noticed when I opened the bag was the burst of the
flavor.
From the flavor. Like I just before I ate it, before I bit it, I knew it was gonna taste good because I could smell. I never smelled different chips before.
So going back to your story, I noticed that you said that you was an engineer
Yep.
and your father was just strictly in the spice space. No one had no business acumen. So how did you guys, form the wherewithal of, making this a business?
Great question. So because I develop software, mainly business process automation is what I specialize in, right? So I work with a lot of companies automating their processes. So I work with a lot of people who do stuff really wrong. Yeah. So figuring out the process it was mainly, we have two main processes, which is inventory management and then order processing. So inventory management was really key because you have to make sure your levels, your raw materials are there and available. So as our standing inventory begins to get low, we know when we need to reorder chips, but then also raw materials like the spices and also film. So that's part of it, and just learning to deal with people. So the vendors I use, I mean, these folks are in the Midwest. So they have they're in a lot of small towns and everything, and so it's just dealing with people and just being a fan of what they produce. And so being this is my baby, this is my brand. I try to love on all of them, as much as I can. So that way, when you guys get them, you get that burst of flavor. You get those whole chips. So that way they know that, hey, this is not only a premium brand, but we know the owner, he's a great guy. So I think culture is also a good part of it as well.
So I like the fact that, when you open them, you just can't stop eating.
Yeah.
So you said you always reverse everything from the end to beginning. So what was your end goal starting this up?
So my end goal was actually twofold. One was to have generational wealth for my family. Okay. That I feel is paramount because as African Americans, we really don't have a lot of that family wealth to pass on, right? And then the other thing is, to give my father a legacy, because this is his spices, this is his creation. And so to give a black man in this country a legacy outside the criminal justice system, I think is one thing that's phenomenal to do. And I think as his son, I feel like it's a great thing to do for that.
Close to Dondre.
I have a question. I noticed in the beginning you were saying like you started out with the end in mind. You wanted to know how to scale your business before, like the 1,000 order thing. What are you doing now to like continue to grow? Like, because some people might just stop, right? Because it's good, you got it in storage and stuff now. But is this where you want to be? And if not, what are some of the things you do to continue to grow?
Great question. Thank you for asking. One is to continue to grow means, what does that look like? So is understanding who our customers are, right? And we haven't reached all our customers yet, right? So our customers are the people who love specialty items that aren't everywhere, right? So it's cool that, we're actually in all the Atlanta area targets. That's cool. And we plan
Wait. You say you're where?
We are in all of the Atlanta area targets. So that includes, the Atlanta area includes...
We toasting with the bags tonight, y'all. Cheers.
Let me throw it out there. It includes not only Atlanta and the surrounding cities, but also as far as Columbus, Georgia, Albany, Georgia, and Savannah, Georgia.
Okay.
They consider that Atlanta.
Atlanta be like that. It's not Atlanta.
Yeah, it's not Atlanta. Well, I'm thankful.
Well, let me ask you this. So, Dondre is... I know Dondre personally, and it's awesome because this is a family-operated business.
Yes.
So when you talk about generational wealth and leaving a legacy for your father, not only just leaving a legacy for your father, but also leaving a legacy for yourself because you have 2 daughters.
Yep.
So when it comes to incorporating your family into this business, speak on that, you know? So, because what I want to really, really touch on is as a Black or an African American family, you have 1, 2, 3 generations.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So while my dad creates and architects the flavors you guys are enjoying, my daughters actually help me with a lot of the day-to-day stuff. Mm-hmm. So my 17-year-old, well, she's 18 now, but she was 17 when it started. I want to throw that out there. She was 17, and I'm talking about my youngest daughter, Amari. When we first, because we were featured on Good Morning America, which was a
at the start
huge,
of COVID.
Yeah, at the start of COVID, it was right there. But it was after Tabitha Brown, right? So Tabitha Brown, and I always wanted to convey this point to other entrepreneurs, and this goes back to scale. While I had the supply chain stood up, order fulfillment wasn't quite there. And when we got, when Tabitha Brown opened up those bag of chips to her 1 million followers and said, oh, there must be Jesus in these bags. And them folks started ordering like crazy. We actually, our order fulfillment was only scaled up to a point to handle maybe about 300 or 400 orders per day, right? Well, people started ordering in the thousands per day.
Wow.
Right, so that blew that right out of the water. So we quickly found out that we needed to scale that up very quickly. Luckily, it was COVID. I'm not saying that because people who lost people, I'm sorry. But it helped us in a way because there was college students just hanging around. So we were able to hire a bunch of college students, bring them in, and take care of our order fulfillment. Mm-hmm. Now, coming back to your question, so Amari was actually over our warehouse. She was the warehouse manager at 17. Wow. She managed over like 20 people. And when we did Good Morning America, we had to put out about 9,600 orders. Wow. And we had to do it in 3 days. That meant there'd be an assembly line, and there had to be so many orders per minute. Mm-hmm. So she managed all of that at 17 years old.
Wow.
And so I'm a firm believer that it's not just people don't have experience. A lot of times people aren't given the opportunity to do that.
Exactly.
And so, I mean, other cultures give their children plenty of opportunities like that. So why can't we?
Right.
Exactly.
So you basically put her in a position to understand the opportunity, because it's like raising your child to know how to run a business.
Exactly.
At 17. So when she's, starts her own business or wants to venture out and do other things, she knows how to work.
So that's a very valuable skill you're teaching. Is she going to actually go to college, or does she have plans to do that, or does she actually have the alternative?
Hold on. Right. So I had to give out the pounds to my other daughter, Amina. So who was 18 at the time. So Amina handles the account management piece.
Whoa.
So like dealing with Target, for example, she was the one who dealt with them to actually close the deal.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
So
Really?
to give her the
Cheers.
opportunity.
Negotiating national deal.
Wow. So I was helpful, but I let her be in those conversations. When they were like, "Hey, can we need this information from you?" She was okay. I'll add this information. She was doing all that.
So I gotta know, was these face-to-face meetings or was this over the phone? Because I know when I was starting off in real estate, they looked at me and they were like, "This kid,
right."
Oh no, see, Amina has that voice.
Okay.
So she sounds older than she actually is. So she never told them how old she was, and because most of the information was we didn't really do a whole lot of video chatting, because how we got into Target was phenomenal. Because it was the day after Good Morning America, which was June 18th at 8:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Some days you just don't forget, right?
You ain't gonna never forget that day.
So June 19th, the VP of Target, who happens to be a black man who lives here in Atlanta, came to us and said, "I saw you on Good Morning America. And I'm gonna make it my duty to get you into Target."
That's right.
Wow.
That's amazing. I have a question right there, because I think a lot of people who are entrepreneurs, I might have products like this, they get afraid. I want to ask you, do you feel like your social media presence had anything to do with you getting into Target? Like,
because I'm kind of scared, so I'm not on social media,
No, that's why I want you to answer it. Did you have a big following before you had this?
Our following was probably about 8,000, right?
That's big though. Somebody had 400. That's okay. Oh yeah.
So when Tabitha Brown did what she did, it blew us up to about over like 30,000.
So that's what I'm asking. So before Tabitha Brown, you had 8,000.
We had 8,000 followers.
And were those followers, like, would you say it was from the actual brand, like from being out doing the displays, like doing
the guerrilla marketing?
The guerrilla marketing, yeah, like being
okay.
Or
no.
did it come from just?
It came from purely doing advertising and digital advertising.
Okay.
That's what it purely came from that. We did
So doing banner ads.
We did
pop-ups?
some banner ads. No real like pop-ups. Because it was just kind of me and just my daughters, and they were in school, right? But then when COVID hit, everybody was at home, so you couldn't go out and do those things, right? Mm-hmm. So that has been helpful. It has been helpful and a hindrance at the same time. Wow. But to answer more of your question, it was figuring out what our brand was. Because again, no background in business. I don't have an MBA, which I won't ever get an MBA. MBAs will not help. An MBA degree will not help you start a business because it really takes the guts to do it. You just gotta go out there, and start running, and then you kind of learn along the way. Oh, here's some track shoes. Okay, cool. Don't swing your arms out. Swim like this. So you're kind of on the move the whole time.
So that was kind of like because I always talk about this. It's like the main thing in business. What you need is the mindset, right? And not just the mindset. Like what's driving you during those times that things get slow, and those like moments where you like almost really want to give up, because there's gonna be times when you had those moments.
I had a moment like that this year. Matter of fact, it happened. We actually were featured on The View this year, and
so
it was
a review like around this time.
Yeah, it was February. So it was during Black History Month. But the reason why it's so somber for me was because we suffered some sabotage. So the spice company I was using decided they were going to make their own blend and put it out there. And then the manufacturer I was using, which is why I'm a big fan of having redundancy in your supply chain, they decided to over-season all of our chips. So everybody from The View got over-seasoned chips and the wrong formula.
Oh, wow.
That was,
So they've copied your formula? One person stole your spices?
Well, they didn't steal them. They decided to make their own blend.
So
not the blend that we gave them.
So explain the process so they understand. Like when they're actually manufacturing their chips, they're going off of what?
They're going off of our recipe. So because we had to give up our recipe, because in the beginning I wanted to do it all ourselves. The spices part is like, because I found out you cannot patent a spice recipe or any recipe. You can't patent it. So I was like, I don't give nobody our recipe. I'm gonna hold that.
It's like Coca-Cola's secret. Like I got Coca-Cola in the vault.
Yeah, I didn't tell nobody nothing. But the problem was that in order to manufacture at least potato chips, you have to be what's called kosher certified, which is a Jewish certification. And so it's a very expensive certification.
Wow.
And so, when finding out that I had to do that, it drove the prices through the roof. And I was like, well, I can't afford to do this, have the certification. They were like, well, for us to come out and bless your production, I'm like, bless my production.
Like all my hard work, sweat and tears, you gonna talk about?
I've been to church a few times. Bless my I don't need that. So I had to take that deep breath.
Right.
And then sign the NDA or whatever, and find a commercial spice blender that could actually blend our spices. So that's when the whole reverse engineering thing helped out with that as well. So I had to do that, and I talk about what was the question again?
So I was asking. Go ahead. Got it.
Okay.
Good.
The question was, so did they try to replicate your recipe?
Oh, sorry, the sabotage. So they I call it sabotage because the chips tasted, and it was mainly the original flavor, which is like the #1 seller. They decided it had this weird aftertaste, like it was like
so your brand that much, you was like, man, let me taste one of these.
I mean,
so how did y'all how did y'all catch it?
Well, we didn't catch it till about the end of Black History Month, after we had shipped over almost 4,000 orders out. And when you're processing orders that fast, sometimes chip bags bust open and sometimes get broken doing. And I tell the people who are there, if you want some chips, just take them. don't feel like you got to pay for them because you don't keep your employees happy. Because I expect y'all to work. That's one of the benefits. You get free chips. So one of the employees was eating the chips like, oh man, this tastes horrible. And I was like, what? And so I drove right to the warehouse and cracked one open myself, and it looked okay. I feel like we've all cooked one meal in our lives, right? And I feel like we've all overseasoned something one time. Like, nah. It was like that. Like, nah.
So wait, they did this on purpose? They overseasoned on
That's
purpose?
like, how did they just use their own blend?
Well, okay, so they never admitted it, right? Because they're a huge company. They were like, well, we tried it and we all think it tastes fine. I'm like, well, I'm glad y'all think that, but however, my customers beg to differ, and I, who gave you the recipe, beg to differ. This ain't it. And so, it becomes like, okay, we're going to take them to court and battle it all out, spend a few $100,000. I'm like, no, I'm just going to move forward because I don't have, the millions of dollars it takes to fight them. Because to me, you diminish my brand, and I only have one opportunity to make you love my chips. If these chips were horrible for the first time you taste, y'all be like, yeah, these real good, yeah, we on. So tell us about the story, dog.
Yeah, that was really bold to even bring these chips here for us to eat it, because if it wasn't, we would have been like,
right, on.
Hey,
That's the first thing. It wouldn't be time to get 8.
We eating already. Shout out to such and such.
So I have a question.
Yes,
so being that this is a family business, and we're talking about legacy, is there a price that would sell the family business, and if not, are potato chips the end, or is there another avenue that you're gonna go, another business you would build? So
great question. Short answer is no. There's no amount of money you can give me. Even if somebody said, I'll give you $500 billion for your company. Well, see, that means that it's worth that. So but the most important thing is generational wealth does not mean one chunk of change you just pull off on forever. It's a residual.
I like that you just said that. Look into the camera.
Okay.
And repeat yourself.
Generational wealth is not one chunk of change that you just pull money off of for a couple generations. Eventually, it's going to run out because prices have gone up. Matter of fact, I put regular gas in my car 2 weeks ago, and just recently it was the same price as premium was.
Today's prices.
Today's prices are not.
Yes.
Yesterday's prices are not today's prices.
They are not. So no, generational wealth is not one chunk of change. It's having residual income that continues to fund and fuel your family to do other things. Which is the next question, which is what is the other thing? Well, the software company that I kind of put down for a second, I'm spinning back up because I have learned how to scale. So I'm like, well, I can take this same information and do it to the software company and get money over there too.
So software companies, that's your baby before the chips, right?
Sure. Yep.
Okay. So,
I mean, technology has also always been a love of mine.
So the self-awareness to say, you know what, I'm gonna put this on hold and put this chip company first, right? And you did that because you wanted to provide a legacy for your father and your kids at the same time.
Absolutely.
Legacy before currency.
I got a question. So I think a lot of us all can relate as entrepreneurs when you have an idea. It's hard for your parents to see it. So you made the point earlier that your dad, to him, it was just spices. He just wanted to make his food taste good. So how was it actually making him see the vision? Or did he just start to gravitate to it over time?
So my dad's retired now, right? And so, he enjoys, because, thankfully through all our support, I'm able to get him, that maximum cable package, So he enjoys, watching TV and everything. But from the vision, he didn't see it. And a lot of times, as African Americans, we don't know what we have. And then we don't have that confidence to actually, or somebody to push us to say, do it. And so I said, hey, I make a very good living doing software. This might just in the beginning I thought it was going to be, few $1,000s, no big deal. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. People ask me, how much money do you put in the company? You get to a point you just don't look no more. Just okay.
And that's like when rehab goes wrong.
But,
It's
but,
like,
but
just get through it.
at what point did your dad have that aha moment? Do you remember?
I want to say when, because we launched it, like I said, in 2017. He was like, okay, that's cool. You know, I showed the bags to him, whatever. He's like, oh, that's side, that's side. I think he started getting excited when we won Good Morning America. Good Morning America, because, you know, I showed him Tabitha Brown video. He's like, who is she?
Right.
But when I said, hey, we gonna be on Good Morning America, he's like, Good Morning America, we gonna be on? I said, yeah, we gonna be live. We gonna be live? I was like, yeah, we gonna be live. All right. He got a gold chain on, put a little hat on, a little shades. I'm like, hey, that's okay, superstar.
But I like too, like what you said about just going back to, you know, your baby. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like all of us started out in real estate, wholesaling real estate, right? And we're now where we're at. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of like, you put your baby down, you was like, you know what? I'm going to sit you down for 1 second. I'm going to build this other business, but I'll be right back. So you're still you were able to get back to what you love and what your baby was. So I feel
but honestly though, one part of doing business process automation is people get those epiphany moments. Like, I didn't know we could do that. Oh, wow. What's the same with the chips? I didn't know chips could taste like this. It's the exact same phenomenon, and I love that. Because, you know, good food, if you all can attest to this, it's like you could be having a bad day. Right? Lord have mercy. You said rehab going wrong. Contract was supposed to be here 6 hours ago. And I'm trying to get this closing date, right?
Look at you on this real estate.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I've been hanging around Mo. Yeah, I'm trying to impress you. Yeah. So, and then, you know, you like, okay, I'm hungry, I want to eat something. And like, man, I got all of a sudden on your mind, like, oh, this is good. You kind of forget for a few seconds. You know, all this, oh, this is great. Okay, all right.
So is that the new slogan for, that's the new slogan?
Everybody's harmonious.
Whoa. So speaking of being harmonious, tell us about the name Symphony Chips. I see on the back of here it says, enjoy Symphony Chips, a delightful and memorable chip. Hold on. Want to entertain your taste buds with bold, savory, melodic flavors. So how does the whole melodic and symphony, how does that tie in?
Great question. So lots of people ask me, so you guys musically oriented? You know, do you play instruments, whatever? Because it's symphony, right? Mm-hmm. Well, no. My dad had one simple thought process. He said, every bite should be harmonious. So when you eat something, it should all go together. Mm. So I said, it's kind of like a symphony of flavors.
And guess what? When they had their the intro at Target, so when they first went into the Target stores,
got in trouble.
When you went into the section where the chips were, they had a symphony. No lie. Wow. So you hear soft music playing like as you're approaching their setup, but it was like a legit symphony. I said, you know, I don't want to break the chip. But I'm like, dang, I was like, that is how you really draw attention, because now you have all these other people. Of course, people came out to support, but then you see all the people that are pushing the babies in the carts and, you know, just coming over there and they're buying chips. Yeah, it was an experience.
And that's what you have in every bag. You have an experience. Because the whole point is food should be an experience. You know, any chef, a good chef would tell you that your food should be an experience. It should take you someplace. And that's exactly what we try to do with the
one thing, I'm having an experience right now. What about y'all?
But I want to circle back to the question you asked earlier about was there a time, what do you do when the times get low and you feel like you can't continue? And I definitely went through that. Like I said, it was after the sabotage. We were, when we hit the view, we're like, okay, well, cool. This is gonna go on for a whole month. We're gonna catapult this momentum. Yeah, but that didn't happen. Because those chips were horrible that we sent out. And so the sales dropped tremendously. And so it was like one of the moments I was like, well, gosh, I know we can continue. This is going to be the end. And I remember, like, gosh, this is it. I saw the expiration date coming up on the chips. There was no more money. And I was like, so I'm going to ride until the wheels fall off. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. So when that happened, honestly, and I don't know people's background and their faith, but I stepped out on this on faith. There was no mentor saying, oh, all you gotta do is A, B, C, and D, and you will definitely get E, F, and G. There was none of that. It was only just keep going. I remember sitting at my computer like, this is it. I was looking at Shopify like, there's no orders. for the past 3-4 days, and the bank account looking real slim. And I remember like, is this it? And I remember like, gosh, I really wanted to do the whole generational wealth thing. I wanted to do that, and I was just like, I don't know what to do. Then my phone rang, and it was a restaurant saying, hey man, we got this big event coming up. I need to buy $1,000 worth of chips. I was like, okay, cool. Then I got an email right after that phone call. An email came in, like as I was on the phone. They wanted to order $10,000 worth of chips. Then somebody else sent another email. It was like $3,500 worth of chips. I was like,
so I like.
It's like I'm coming to America, Ralph.
Exactly.
Sometimes you gotta be broke down so you can break through.
Right.
That's exactly right. It's not just breaking down and breaking through, but to add to that, is sometimes you have to be broken to be reformed into something that's stronger.
And being uncomfortable, because you started up this, what you said, on just your leap of faith.
Leap of faith.
So this is something new. You never had a chip company before.
No.
You never had your family all involved in the business. You know what I'm saying? So you took the leap of faith, and you were uncomfortable, and things started getting good. Start making all this money and all the TV shows, everything rolling, right? You start popping your collar, and you had new cars.
My grandmother, she was like, I saw your friend Dondre on the View. She said, that's a nice looking young man.
But you went through all of those things, and that's the thing about business. Like everybody want to be a boss until boss things happen.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to, I'm a CEO, right? Until that CEO check or that bill or that bank account look like what it looked like, right? And then you gotta, fight through that mentally, but keep the positive mindset. But again, you had got a little comfortable, but then you got back uncomfortable, and that's where you pushed through. So
I did.
Shout out to Dondre.
And shout out to your shirt, the combat.
I was about to say
See, how you poking out the comeback?
So that's what it was for. It was for you to come back. That's what I said right there. Yeah, that's what it's about, man. Yeah. Shout out to y'all for seeing that. I wasn't even peeping on the comeback. I just wore it. Everybody else.
What's the game plan? Are your daughters going to actually decide to stay and run the business, or are you going to have to hire other operational managers, and then they're going to do what they want to do?
So yeah, no, you're right. I do have to hire other operational people. So like marketing is really a key thing. It's not just online marketing; it's offline marketing as well. Because now we got Target stores, which is about 41 stores, but we have over 60 independent specialty stores that we're in across 18 states. That's 100 stores that we're in. So it's an amazing thing. And I get new orders like all the time from other stores that are finding out about us. But I know if we have the right marketing in place, that can actually transpire. But again, they have to be able to do the offline marketing as well as the online marketing. It pushes people toward the store. So marketing is one. Definitely inventory, an inventory manager. Because right now I'm doing it, and I can do the software thing. And, my spreadsheets are phenomenal. But I have to offload that as well, because the whole point of business, at least my idea, is that it can run without me. See, that's the residual income. When I can do this, and it works whether I'm there or not. See, that's the engine you want to build.
But going along those lines, if you don't mind me interjecting.
Sure.
How does one, this is for the audience and for myself to know, how does one ensure a business staying in their family legacy after those that are going? Yourself is going, you're going years down the line. Like, how does one ensure that my great-great-grandkids has kept this business in my family name? Or if it's grown to the point that it's a large
conglomerate?
Right.
Yep.
How does your family ensure a security of that residual income continuously coming 100 years from now?
Man, so we're gonna get real deep. So what I would say is it's through trust. So standing up a living trust and putting the business into trust, so that way the business is always in the family. So no matter, because I believe in building a culture for my company that people are going to come and go. Because in order to maintain through generations, you have to be able to attract talent. And so people can't stay there 30, 40 years. They got to be there maybe like 10, maybe 15 tops, and then move on to whatever else they want to do. So having programs in place to help propel other people is important. So that way you attract new talent. 'Cause I want the fresh talent, the people who, for example, like I don't know how to do Instagram and Facebook, but my daughter, that generation does. Having somebody from that generation to come on board that can do those things, and then whatever's next, whatever it is next that comes out through social media or whatever else, you got to have people who know how to do those things. Because like I said, I'm an immigrant to the internet. You know what I'm saying? I'm 47, but I didn't grow up in it. You know what I'm saying? But there's people who are born with the internet here. They don't know nothing else.
Right.
I laugh at my kids all the time because they never heard of dial tone.
Right.
You ain't kicked nobody off the phone for trying to get on the internet. You don't know.
Right. Them dial-up modems. Y'all heard about that.
3 minutes on a CD or something.
Right.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
They ain't use no floppy disking technology.
Right.
That's all it is.
Right. So having that living trust ensures that it'll always be in my family, no matter who's CEO or CFO or whatever. It'll always be in the family.
So to be clear, you put your LLC or your S corp or your corporation.
C corp.
And then you file it under a trust.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hey, that's game for you guys that's watching.
I wanted to bring out, highlight one thing that you said that I feel like a lot of people, they don't go far because, like, say for instance, someone started, let's just say in our field in real estate or something, and they've been doing stuff a certain way, and it's gotten them okay. But like you say, after 10 to 15 years, it's a little different. It's okay to hire somebody else or bring in some more new people so that you can grow. Right. And I think a lot of times why some people don't grow, their business is the same thing. It's just there. It's not doing nothing. But they won't let nobody else come in. They won't let nobody do anything. They're not growing. And one of the things that you just said was that you want to put people in a position where they're going to be able to grow and do what they want to do after like 15 years. So they can get on, we can get some more new people in here. And you're not afraid to let your daughter run social media. Some people might be like, I think that's really amazing because that's where a lot of people mess up at.
You have to recognize your limitations and respect them.
Absolutely.
Some people say, well, I can do anything I put my mind to. Okay. But you can't, while you can do some things well, but there's somebody who does it better and is passionate about it.
Right. It kind of go back to what we was talking about, like with the wholesaling. Now people have people that make phone calls, cold calls. It's some people that just focus on attracting buyers, like getting the buyers, getting the sellers, finding this who just follow up, and they got different names for them. But some people are still stuck in their old way. But these other little younger people, they scaling, giving us different. Like they got a lot of houses, because they letting people do, get delegation and stuff.
Delegation.
And that's in every business. Like it's okay to let people help you.
It's okay
because you all couldn't be here on this couch.
But it's hard to.
If y'all didn't delegate y'all stuff, right? Because in real estate, somebody got to be an electrician.
Yeah,
somebody got to be a plumber.
We learned the hard way being trying to do project management on your own project. We got multiple projects. It was just. We learned the hard way.
But that's what actually stops a lot of people from entrepreneurship because they feel like they have to do everything. And because some people try to be the real estate agent, the plumber, and the contract. Like, I'm gonna get my general contracting license. So they spend years and years and years.
I want to have everything under my belt. Yeah, okay, until you get everything under your belt. You running like this, you know what I'm saying? Like you got 5 jobs.
And it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. It'll stress somebody out. Your hair start falling out. Skin start looking bad.
Damn, she used to be real cute.
Well, what happened? Ever since she started that business, she had a business about 10 years. She don't got 2 employees.
Yeah. And it's all about having people around you that are smarter than you.
Yes.
Trying to be the smartest person is always the wrong thing.
Right.
You have people around you smarter than you so you can grow. Because the other thing is forming a advisory board, right? Mm-hmm. So that way you have people around you advising you who are already at or further than you want to be.
That is so key. That's actually a word to me. It's actually surround yourself with an advisory board because one of my previous guests said that. And it's just somebody that you can reflect to that can make a business decision that is comparable to where you are, if not past your journey, versus asking grandma and mama what to do. Because they're going to be like, oh, go get a job, baby. Why are you doing this?
Right. Hey, you got a real job yet, baby?
Right.
But we are moving on to one of my favorite segments. I ain't gonna lie. Where pretty much we pull a question.
Okay.
And we want to hear your authentic, honest response. I ain't gonna lie.
So what's gonna happen is somebody's gonna read the question and then say their answer's gonna be, I ain't gonna lie.
So the pull one?
Then your
Me
answer.
too?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool.
Get a few.
Get a few?
Say get a few.
Yeah, we didn't have one in for your dad, but you know.
Yeah, we did have one for your dad. You need two.
I need two. Okay.
What would Daddy do?
Okay, I got you. All right.
Errol, you want to start us off?
So is everyone on your team on the same page? No. So I got kind of like departments per se. So I got this business operation over here, this business operation over here, and this business operation over there, which is all still one team. But this team knows the assignment, this team knows their assignment, and that team knows their assignment. So in their own respective fields, they know what to do. But on the same accord, we do have an end vision we're going to, but same page, different assignments.
Specialization of labor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
How much time do you spend on things that don't add customer value? I ain't gonna lie. And speaking of specialization of labor, sometimes I do find myself being the accountant, the tax person, everything. And while the customer experience is a huge part of my business, it's not the only part of my business. So I will say I do spend some time. I am working on segmenting and having office hours and sticking to that. But it is hard sometimes, when you have to do other things. You may be working on some background things that don't add to the customer value. I ain't gonna lie.
Are your employees obedient or committed?
Ooh.
I ain't even gonna lie.
Ooh.
Everybody that works for me is committed.
Ooh.
And the reason that they're committed is because I treat them a certain way. I treat them with respect. I don't try to haggle, when the subcontractors come in. I value what they add to the table, or what they bring to the table. So, in construction, we have the vision, right? I'm not putting on a hammer. I put on a hard hat to look cute because it's pink. But I'm not picking up. Well, you know what? I ain't gonna lie. I picked up a hammer.
I'm about to say, Mo Hustle.
No, but we go. They're trying to put in some window screens. I was like, dang, how do we put these back in? So, but the thing is, like, I understand that the quality work that they do allows this product, the quality product, to come to life, right? So if you don't value your employees, they're not going to want to work for you. So yes, they'll be obedient because guess what? They need to get this job done, get a paycheck, whatever the case may be. But when you treat them like you really value them and make them feel like they're part of the team, so to say, versus just, a do boy or do girl, they're committed to you. So it's whatever you need, Miss Mo, I got you.
That's amazing. Okay. All right. Here we go. First question, I'll answer it as Pops would answer it. Is your business scalable? I ain't gonna lie. Sure is.
Definitely, obviously. I mean, the fact that it's like, let me go run a Target real quick and get my part.
Are you just answer that for your dad?
Yeah.
So this one's for him.
All right, this one's for me. What are your main performance indicators?
Good ones.
I ain't gonna lie. Main performance indicators are sales, inventory, and new customers. Those are my key because the more new customers we get and how we obtain them is key because that's going to directly reflect our sales. And then we always got to have inventory available to fulfill all of that. So those are the three main indicators I look at: revenue, inventory, and new customers.
All right. This is a good one. It says as business owners, but as a business owner, what are your top 3 priorities? Okay, so for me, this is speaking for me, yo. All right, so my top 3 priorities are my spiritual, my mental, and my physical. That's for me. And as far as for like the business and with my family, so we have God first, family, and then business. So that's how everything's structured for me. So those are my top 3 priorities for business for me. I ain't even gonna lie, my bad. I ain't even gonna lie.
I'm glad glad y'all like the questions.
Oh, these are your.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, my question is, do you set high expectations or tolerate mediocrity? I ain't even gonna lie. I tell people exactly what I want and just do it. Because my high expectations may not be what theirs are. Or even sometimes, depending on what type of house we doing, it may not need to be that high. We might can go, middle. Be high, So for me, I just tell people exactly what I want done, and you just do it, and we good. Yeah, I ain't even gonna lie.
Excellence can't exist when mediocrity.
Wait, what was that?
I said, it's a saying that our friend always says, right? Excellence cannot persist. No, excellence cannot exist where mediocrity persists.
And sometimes it don't need to be excellent. Sometimes it can just be regular, depending on if it's a rental. You don't need to be that. For me, I'm not spending that much money in certain.
But you still need to get it rent ready though, so it's like within what you're doing. Because you can still do something to where somebody comes in and it's, you don't want to have certain things. You want to be rent ready. So if you're getting a property rent ready, that expectation can still be a certain level. Not to make it flippable, but to have it rent ready.
So what
I guess excellent on that level.
Yeah, you need an excellent rental.
But I would never tell somebody I want this to be excellent. I just high, because whatever we thinking, mine may be something different from yours, or even with him, it may be something different. So yeah, for me, I believe in you write down exactly what you want and you get exactly what you want. If you are not crystal clear with whatever it is you want, it's not gonna come. Just like if if I send you a letter, I'm not gonna write just letters all over. I'm gonna write out the exact words to you, and you hear me and you see me, so you know. Same thing with whatever I want done. I'm gonna tell you.
Exist? Yeah. Excellence cannot exist
where mediocrity persists. Yeah, but you're right though. You can only go as far as you're clear.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What can derail your plans? I ain't even gonna lie. Jesus, the universe, personally, I don't believe in competition, so, no one can stop me from doing anything other than, myself. But derailing my plans is not the end plan, it's the direction of what I'm using to get to my end goal. So those things can be, I don't want to call it derail, but it's the wrong route, so for us personally, if we're trying to acquire a deal and it just takes too much to acquire that deal,
let it go.
Let it go.
On to the next.
We learned the hard way about that too. Trying to push something that the universe not trying to do.
God only exists where it's harmonious. Right. That's when God's in it when it's harmonious.
Right.
Whether it's a deal, a relationship, or anything, don't force it. No, anything.
Not facts.
So
because there's a fine line in the lessons of learning of your patience and your persistence, and is that same thing teaching you to leave and work something out, or is it really teaching that, this side is not for you? So you have to understand what those signs are in your life and how you react to it. So.
And in life too, you go through so many ups and downs, or different things happen in life that you start learning those things. You start seeing stuff before it really happened. Dang, I saw that last time, or I went down this road already. I already made the wrong decision, so I gotta change my way of thinking on this one. You done went down the wrong road, right? Or you opened that wrong door. You was like, oh, that's not the door. You gotta go this way.
Sometimes it can be a good thing though, because even with you guys, you said that y'all was doing the season first, and then you wasn't thinking about doing chips. People started asking, so it's kind of it moved, but it worked out for the best.
I believe God speaks through people.
Yeah.
You gotta pay attention. It's right there. They kept saying the same thing.
Right.
Stupid. What the chips at?
Right.
What the chips at? Are you slow? What the chips at?
That's powerful right there. When you ask God for an answer, and you so confused, and people keep on saying, hey, we know you should do this, and you keep, they're like, what to do? I mean, just told you 50 times. God is looking at you yeah, bro.
Yeah, that's the message.
Exactly. And one of the main things, like you said, it's about pivoting and being flexible to pivot. I always call it the Blockbuster Netflix effect. Blockbuster was at the top of their game. Netflix came on. They was like, man, ain't nobody gonna be ordered $6 sitting in the mail, okay.
Yeah.
And even Netflix pivoted from even that because Redbox was on their heels. So they pivoted from even that. So like you said, it's just being open from pivot. Speaking of, we had a great conversation today. I mean, thank you for being on. I want to go around real quick. What was the takeaway that you guys got from being here today? Like the conversation for me, like I said, being open to pivot and move where people lead you, the spirit guides lead you, like listen. See, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm big on family, so just learning how to create a legacy, the ethical and legal way. You know, that was a good takeaway.
For me, my takeaway, which is just a part that I love about his story, is that he's not afraid to get help. Like, help is what we need to grow. And it took me a while. Like, Sion forced that on me, like, because I was one of those people that wanted to do everything by myself. He let me know, like, it's okay to get help. Like, hire somebody to do that. And ever since I did that, like, everything was such a relief. So to hear you say that, like, I know that was my biggest problem. It's probably a lot of people's biggest problems. They feel like nobody's gonna work as hard as they will. So that's what I took out of it.
Yeah, and I'm like seeing I'm a big family guy, so having your daughters in there, like that's major, man. To put your daughters in that type of position to scale for not just you, for them. You know what I'm saying? So they know how to operate in a business. They know how to work in a business as young black women.
That girl magic.
Yeah.
Girl magic. There you go. Girl dads.
I think my biggest takeaway was the sacrifice. You know, here it is that you're this successful IT guy. I'm saying right?
Sure.
I hate when I say IT guy, but you're this very successful IT guy, and you literally, like, you would have been just fine, just keep doing what you were doing, right? But you stepped out on faith, you put that to the side, and then even when it got to the point to where you're sitting there and the days are going by with no sales, right? You could have easily just said, you know what, I'm going back to IT, you know, because I'm good. That's a security blanket, right? But the minute that you sat back and you listened, God started answering all your prayers, but you're sitting there, you're trying to figure it out, and then boom, the next thing you know, phone call, email, orders, and the next thing you know, you're back. You know what I mean? So it's just like when you sacrifice, but you stay steadfast and focused and don't quit. The minute if you would have turned away, we wouldn't be here right now because you'd be doing some IT stuff.
Absolutely.
For me, I'm pretty sure you can talk about it, but I know that the fact that you're looking to gain the trust and organizational structures, that tells me you've probably been through a season with taxation, with having a good year with this. Like, okay, what can I do to probably like alleviate some of the tax income that comes in? Yes, no?
Not quite.
Not quite? Oh.
So I got a friend of mine recommended me for this program from Goldman Sachs.
Okay.
And it's a small business cohort that teaches you different aspects of business. You know, like every week we focus on something different. One of them was how to hire, you know, how to interview. Then it was marketing. Then it was finances.
Okay.
And to your point, the organizational piece is really, you know, from them, because I learned, okay, I know I needed help with marketing, but through that cohort I learned, well, not just marketing, I need business development, and then also hiring like a marketing college student to actually push the buttons. You know what I'm saying? So it's that plus what a CFO does. So things like that, because I was like, okay, I get somebody to handle, you know, my bookkeeping and accounting. No. You need somebody with a tax strategy that tells the accountant what to do. No, I'm sorry. Tells the bookkeeper how to categorize, and then tells the accountant how to structure your taxes. So you need that strategy. That's why as I said, I need a marketing strategist, not just somebody who can put up ads on Facebook. See, I did that. Put up ads on Facebook, make content. I did that part. There was no strategy. There was no, okay, we're going to do this, launch a campaign this way, on this platform, with this content, with these graphics. See, somebody to think through all of that.
Yeah.
But I had to I had to go through the marsh to love the grass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
So to your point, or to your question, yeah, I actually had to learn that as well. So I didn't have that. I have that answer. I was thinking, okay, I need somebody to do marketing, but not really the aspect I needed. So yeah. So luckily I didn't get in trouble with taxes. Not sure anyway.
Not at all. Not knowing that yet.
So how can we find you? I know you said locally here in Atlanta, but you mentioned 18 states now. What is the best way for people to find you, to taste the chips?
I would say definitely come to our website. Come to our website, symphonychips.com. You can also follow us on Instagram. That's at Symphony Chips as well, and also Facebook is at Symphony Chips, and Twitter if you're still tweeting. Symphony Chips there also. Yeah, I mean stuff changes.
Or the metaverse if you are still
Exactly. But hey, I want to say, I know you guys are winding down. Thank you so much. This has been a wonderful. I loved your questions, and it made me think about some things I haven't thought of in a while. And also, I want to throw this in there also to you guys in real estate. I also learned that if you put your kids' names, put your deed in kids' names, and you pass, it skips probate. I didn't know that. Somebody who does that with their grandkids taught me that. I was like, oh, cool. That's how you skip probate.
and putting it in a trust as well.
Skip probate.
Heroism.
Yeah.
Well, hey, everybody go online and order some Symphony Chips or go to your local Target and support the business guys. They're great.
Yes.
So before you close those out, I think everybody should get a chip in their hand because it's going to be one of the few times that we'll be able to do this. And
everybody get one? Everybody got one?
Make sure everyone get a chip in their hand.
I need a real chip. I need a big chip.
I know, and that's one thing I love, man. These are big chips.
Man.
Because a lot of times the chips can break.
The majority of them are big. All right.
Time to get 8.
Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of All Things Entrepreneur. You just got 8. Team, tell them how to find you. Hit me up on Instagram at It's Jessica Myers.
I am Superstar Shauna with
DC on John.
and together we are Flippin' Love.
You can follow me on Instagram at mohustle_810.
You can follow me at The Real Grind Guy on Instagram.
You can find me on all social media outlets at LJ Allen.
Be sure to subscribe on our YouTube channel at 8.experience.
Nah, don't talk about it, go do it. All things entrepreneur. All things entrepreneur. It get tough, but you gotta stick to it. Nah, don't talk about it, go do it.